What's going on? Welcome to the Top or Bottom podcast. I hope you're ready because we are on the rooftop and we are going to be doing something special tonight, right? First of all, thank you for these incredible
got
cigars.
Them from Miami, brought them all the way here across America, North America.
So you were just in Miami? No, you were just in Vegas.
I was just in Vegas.
So tell me about that. What was the trip for? What was the highlight?
Yeah, so I mean the trip was for business. It was an event where we learned about marketing. I'm always trying to learn more and surround myself with like people doing bigger things. So this was just one of those events. Even if you just learn one or two things from, over the course of a few days, it's totally worth the trip sometimes, because that one thing can be the thing that gets you to the next level. Mm-hmm. So I'm all about like investing into myself, getting around people doing big things like we're doing tonight. But yeah, it was fun, man. There was lots of fun and learning. Of course, it's Vegas. So
nice. What was one thing that you feel like was part of that next level?
I think, for us, my intention going in was like we just want to grow the YouTube channel. So just opening up our marketing and the style of videos to a wider audience versus being so specific.
Yeah.
It's like Mr. Beast style videos, or just the way you title thumbnails, or the actual titles of the videos.
Yeah.
Most of marketing is psychology. Well, it's like all psychology.
Yeah, absolutely.
So diving deep into that was pretty cool.
I was about to laugh because someone yesterday told me you should. And YouTube, we were talking about YouTube, and it said you should call yourself Mr. Purpose.
You could, dude. It's catchy.
You should do Mr. Purpose.
Mr. Purpose.
Mr. Purpose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you played Purpose.
I did.
And
okay,
tell me about that.
Yeah, so I was in Vegas, and of course you're meeting people, you're hanging out, this and that, and I remember in my bag, I always bring around those Purpose cards.
Yeah.
Actually,
but you didn't even have the game.
No, actually, I had like about 12 cards that you gave me personally when we were at some event together.
That's true.
About 6 months ago. Right. And then I remember holding on to it because there were some super cool questions. Yeah. So anyways, I'm with this person, and I'm like, hold on, I got this game, let's play it.
Yeah.
I pull it out, and I'm not even kidding you, those 12 cards lasted, it was like 3 to 4 hours of deep conversation. Like the kind of shit you would never ask.
Yeah.
But it's like, let me ask it because it's on this card. And then these questions, they obviously go down deep rabbit holes. And you get to know so much about the other person. So it is.
And you're actually there.
Yeah. Present and
anchored in,
it's just next level conversation.
Yeah.
So I was like, shout out to Juan, man. That was
respect. That's amazing, bro. I'm really happy to hear that. And you told me when you messaged and you said, it was my highlight of it, right?
Yeah.
It's just incredible to feel those things, and the fact you had only those cards.
Bro, it's only 12. I'm like, man, I wish I had more.
Yeah.
But we
had you played it before Vegas?
I have played it a couple times. I know I played it here one time.
Yeah.
That's the first time. The second time I brought him out and played it.
Well, I have something for you. For it, bro, I'm gonna give you this limited edition deck of it. Okay. I know you were gonna get some, but I'll let you get for some friends because I'm all about sharing the purpose.
Yeah.
But for you, I want to give you this as a gift. This is limited edition. Right now,
I appreciate it.
And now you'll have more to play.
This will last me about 50 hours.
There you go.
Lots of conversation right here. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So we have that, and then like I was telling you, also we just received. So this is as raw as it gets, right?
Yeah.
As raw as it gets, but even here you can already tell there was a lot of love put into it, right? And into like what it means for. So for us, this is the actual first. Baby sample for Prosper, and Prosper by Purpose, which is going to be it's our entrepreneur edition. That's for new era of entrepreneurs, really, and who are ready to take the conversations and to the next level. Because all we are at the end of the day, as in terms of humanity, it's a network of conversations, from politics, from relationships, from friendships, from business. From anything, it's just conversations. If you look at it from a big scale and you're seeing the world, you'll just see all these conversations happening.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the biggest thing is, what are those conversations? And how I say it too is, what's the frequency of those conversations? Right? Like, am I having when you say high level, you're basically saying high frequency. Why? Because you're at a frequency of connection, you're at a frequency of growth, you're at a frequency of presence, and so much more. right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
then can give people what people call awakening and all that's because they're actually
You feel
there.
connected, man.
And you're
It's
connected.
not just surface
Yeah.
level, shallow stuff. It's
Yeah.
just deep stuff
Yeah.
that really matters.
Yeah, and we started seeing with this game, like we've had, just a lot of incredible stories, and now one of my main missions over the next 2 quarters is to get started on the mechanism that's going to be able to share these stories every day.
Ooh.
So, like, imagine someone, how do we share those stories every day? And I'll tell you some really cool ideas that we have, and then also me coming from the film industry and as an actor and been on, working with Netflix and all kinds of productions, like, how do we make a cinematic experience like nobody in gaming is doing at all, right? And even in just in general, in e-commerce or anything like that. So it's like, how do we do that? And I think we got it, right? We got it, and so now that's kind of like, but it does require you to build. But it requires you to build means it's because it's something unique, right?
Yeah.
And so, but for example, people who got married through the game, like that's pretty powerful, right? People that actually, and I'll tell you more of the stories, but someone who messaged us and said, hey, we have around a multi-million-dollar company, and the idea came from playing Purpose a year ago.
Dude, that's powerful.
Yes.
That's powerful.
So it's
That's
like
a
a
ripple
game that
effect.
has an ROI, right? Now, what if we can take it to the next level? And this is what it is. This is like questions that now are designed to actually have those breakthroughs.
Yeah, and actually, it's interesting. I do a lot of work with this guy. He's called Dr. John DeMartini, personal development. I'm very into personal development, and one of his famous quotes. And
Is he in Miami?
He's in Texas.
Okay. Yeah.
But he travels around a lot. But the quality of your life comes down to the quality of the questions you ask yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
And with deeper quality questions, it's gonna bring about ideas and stimulate thoughts. You'll have mind shifts, and just like you said, like that could end up in a marriage, that could end up in a new multi-million-dollar business. So it's like the ripple effect is massive, but it must feel pretty cool, like facilitating that, like planting that seed through something like this to generate those ideas through people.
Yeah, and it comes down to these conversations, it comes down to clarity too.
Yeah.
Right? And you get clarity not always what you answer, but what you hear somebody answer on a question. Because everyone, when they're asking questions, okay, Eric, top or bottom, this, that, you're also thinking about it, right? And the thing is, we don't take the time to ask ourselves the right questions enough in different moments of our life. One question might hit me a certain way today, and a year from now will be different, and a year ago, totally different.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a different place. But the important thing is that now creates unlocks next phase of awareness. Because awareness comes from that, right? So we're more aware, we're more conscious, we're more present when we ask ourselves the right questions and we're actually there, right? And obviously, the more people, you can learn from everyone, but the more interesting people that you get in a room, especially when we're talking business, it's game changer. So you're going to be the first person I actually play this with, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Which is interesting, right? Like it's, and again, there's a lot of new questions that are coming. Some of these are going to go, but I'm pretty confident that the majority of these are going to make the cut.
This is dope, dude. This is super cool. And something you said too, it's like you ask these unique questions and bring up these unique things in people. I think everybody's actually super unique, but a lot of them just keep it closed off because no one ever asks them about the deep stuff. They just go through life, surface level talks.
Mm-hmm.
So this really does kind of bring out the best in people, I think. Brings out those conversations that otherwise they would never have over the next 10 years unless someone asks them these specific questions.
So, absolutely.
That's dope.
All right, well, let's we'll get started. Should we light up the
I was gonna
cigar?
say these look pretty good right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's
Did you chop yours already?
I did. Oh no, I didn't chop yours. So you smoke a lot of cigars?
Do I smoke a lot of cigars?
Well, it depends what a lot is, right?
Exactly.
That is subjective.
Beautiful.
All right, here we go. I need to cut this. Try that.
Thank you.
That's nice. Tastes like Miami.
Tastes nice, bro.
I brought Miami with
Cheers,
me
man.
tonight. Cheers.
So, all right.
Let's do it, man.
So, do you want to give a little background for people listening here, like about your business, a little bit about like some interesting moments in your journey, and then I'm actually just thinking how like much of an interesting case study these can be.
Yeah.
Right, like just solid people on here. Like my friend was telling me, yo, he was just with like Luke Belmar in like one of those events, and he's like, yo, I think you would love this game. There's one of my friends he's really close to. Oh, there's different, even like younger guys, right? Like all kinds of different entrepreneurs could be really interesting to have like a case study, and you don't know the questions. Like it's gamified, or gamifying podcasts in a way, right?
That's super cool. Gamifying podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit about myself. Like right now, I have a health company called CFS Recovery. We help people recover from long COVID, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. Essentially, these people are bedridden or housebound. They can't really function in society. These are like the rejects from the medical system.
Mm-hmm.
The people doctors say, hey, you're completely fine, can't help you, but clearly there's something wrong. So we help them go from surviving to thriving. And the reason I started this was because that used to be me. Yeah, I couldn't walk for 8 months straight. I was bedridden, hospitalized. I missed out from my years of like 18, 19 to 22. Thought my life was over, and now I have the privilege of helping the exact same people who were in my position not too long ago. So that's what we do today. Prior to that, I ran a bunch of different businesses, and I think a lot of people usually do that. They run multiple businesses, and they usually fail, but all of those things are stepping stones to give you the skills needed for your next thing.
Yeah.
Right? You only fail if you quit.
Yeah, absolutely. People look at failures, but it's the stepping stones needed, right, to substance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have the actual, it's like little keys, and everyone requires, and if you're going to build something big, it requires a lot of keys. Absolutely. A lot of alignment, and that is what feels like luck, right?
Yeah.
But that's what's different, and you understand just like so much more, and so yeah.
I don't believe in failure. It's just learning. It sounds so cliche, but it's an opportunity to improve yourself. And what other way are you going to learn? I think most people are just paralyzed by fear of or analysis paralysis. But I love it when things are going wrong, because that means we're growing. Right? If things
you're breaking stuff, you know.
You're breaking new ceilings. You're getting outside your comfort zone. If it's too comfortable, you ain't growing, man.
Yep.
It's too easy. It's not supposed to be easy.
That's it. All right, bro.
Let's do
Pick
it.
a card. Any card? Don't look at it though.
Feeling this one.
Okay. Top or bottom?
Top.
What single strategy has contributed the most to your financial success, and how did you implement it?
Content, more specifically, posting YouTube videos. Posting valuable content online and going in with a mindset of, let me give as much value as I can. You know, it's going to lead to me making money somehow, but you have to help first.
Yeah.
Because you have to break through the noise, one, but number two, there's so much distrust online nowadays. So people can tell if you're just out there for their money.
Yeah.
They could tell in an instant. People are not dumb. So I'd say literally posting YouTube videos, educational videos, giving it all away for free, right? And then charging for the implementation if they want my time.
So
yeah.
So that's when you saw the biggest breakthrough happen for you?
Absolutely. I think, well, there's that. That was the actual practical thing I did. But also I was in a market that really that had a huge problem to solve, but there was not many solutions. So it was like a blue ocean.
Yeah.
Because I've tried many things before. I've tried content with other things, but I think those things aligned. I found a market that really needed a solution. There wasn't a solution for it, or not a big solution, and then the content, literally creating the solution, giving it out there for free, and then eventually monetizing it.
Nice.
It's content. Yeah. How about you? What would you say? Because you've had a few different businesses too.
Yep.
And different things probably help for different businesses. But if you had to pick one, like the biggest lever that you pulled before, where you saw quantum leaps.
I would say delegation, like knowing how to delegate energy.
Yeah, that's huge.
Delegating energy in, like, you spend enough time with me, you'll see that I, like, on most days now, I'm moving energy very interestingly, and I'm actually realizing myself, like, people like that, they're not like, and it's actually quite recent at this stage, like at how I'm starting to do it, and I feel like I'm just getting started, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And actually, the I have 2 books that are almost finished.
Of you.
That I wrote, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dim is one. How to not dim your it's called Dim, Delegate, Inspire, Master. And it's literally a way that I it's how to build something in a way where you get your whole team to a masterful stage. First of all, starting with the delegation process, how to delegate energy.
Yep.
Okay? And moving there to the point where now you're inspiring. Like now you're just inspiring, right? And things are moving, systems in place, going beyond SOPs and all that stuff, right? And then from there, how do you reach to masterful level? Masterful level is where I'm literally just focusing all my time on masterful decisions and moves, and that's it.
Yeah.
Am I there right now? No. But what's cool about it is I'm sharing my journey. I'm not like, hey, I'm at this stage where I'm saying, but this is the process of it. So I'm kind of bringing people on it. Because right now I'm in a moment where like we're getting like multi-million-dollar like deals like every single month, and now we're like looking at which one we take, distribution globally, 20, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like different things like that. So it's kind of like, it's but even those things has its ups, but it has its like shit, like, like you got to it has its stress, it has its like things that you want to do right, especially when you really care about what you're doing.
Yeah, delegation is huge, man. And like, I think with all startups, you start out wearing multiple different hats. You're kind of doing everything, but eventually it gets to a point where you have to switch from that, like being in the trenches, in the weeds, to being that CEO, or else you become the bottleneck and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think, so how did you get around that with the trust aspect? Because that's the thing that keeps most people stuck.
Yeah.
They're too afraid to delegate because they think they can do the job the best. How did you get past that kind of hurdle?
When I was about 19, I had my first like assistant.
Yeah.
Okay, and I spent money, and I said, okay, like me doing that, and it started initially like I kind of did a VA and an actual assistant. Like I felt like it was executive at that point. It wasn't, because when it comes to executive assistant, there's a difference there. Like that person needs to know how to deal with executives.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a difference, but I started seeing, okay, I have all these things doing. A bunch of these don't need to be me.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't need to be me. Time, and years later I heard, bro, if you don't have a proper, like someone assisting proper, you're your own assistant. You're an assistant. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah.
Like, basically, right? And so at this point, if you look at the task you're doing, it's like, what is this? And so, and also it's the fact of, like you said, a lot of it's fear for people.
Yeah.
What if this person doesn't do it right? You know what it is too? There's a big lack of transparency. I need to be fully transparent. Like now I'm having 2, actually, when we're onboarding someone just this week. So I basically have 2 EAs. But guess what? It's like making sense for me to do that because of where it's at. And also we have something that's like, it's a multi-dimensional business, even though we're like laser focused on our main goal for all year. Every 30 days we're switching.
Yeah.
Like every 30 days.
So fast,
yeah. And the thing is that 30, 60, or 90 days are unlocking what's next.
Yeah.
They're literally unlocking what's next, right? And and that's what I think most people should be doing nowadays. For not everybody, but most entrepreneurs in certain stages, that's a smarter move than just like, hey, this is the 2-year plan. Bro, you don't even know.
Bro,
you have no
don't
idea.
even know what's going to happen 3 months from now. We've done it so many times where like we have these kind of North Star milestones, like, all right, what's the result we want to get? How we're going to get there? We could come up with a perfect plan, but guess what? In 2 weeks from now, that plan goes out the window because life happens, market changes, software changes.
Yep.
I think today one of the biggest skills is being adaptable, being able to adapt. Even with all the AI stuff that came out in the last year,
100%.
if you are not leveraging that, you're missing out, right? So, I totally believe in adapting and not making too long-term of a plan. Definitely a long-term vision, a long-term plan that like things never go according to plan.
The vision is a vision.
Vision
Right?
is a
vision is a vision. Like, and your mission, your values, bro. Man,
Values
the more you
are
grow, the
everything.
more values are important. I was just talking to one of my boys. Okay, it was one of my best friends. We're still partners to this day. Not in purpose or anything, but we started a lot of cool things together. His company right now is worth 9 figures. The guy's a couple years older than me, and he's one of the partners in an interesting space. And basically, he was like, and I was talking to him, and I had him on the Top or Bottom podcast today, and he was like, we were talking. I'm like, well, what's the main thing you feel like right now has helped you actually, because being transparent came through the conversation, and he said in companies is values. It's one of our values. It's just one of our values. So if anyone is not, you're going against the company.
Exactly.
Like it's that
not
straight
even,
up. You're
it's
going
not
against
even
the
me,
company,
it's
right?
literally the company. That's what we learned as well. So from the ground up, you have to know the values, because that is like the anchor of everything.
It's the anchor, yeah.
So if people go against the values, it's not even a personal thing anymore. It's like, it's not even you against me, it's you against the company. So people can't argue that.
And it's interesting, there's some things that are fundamentals that become more important as you go.
Yeah.
And as you grow. At some point, values, and when first stages, the values maybe not as important. You have to know, you have to be a good person, you have to, and you know where you're going, but at some point, values are important, because there's a frequency to words. There's a frequency, it goes beyond words, right? I learned this in acting. In acting, when you're writing a script, you're acting, bro, it's not about the script. The script is important. Why do some of the best actors, from Pacino to De Niro to Marlon Brando, you know, why is it that some of their best moments was off script? It was improvised. Why? It was because they felt what they were doing so hard, and they were in the right energy. Really, people don't say it like this, but that's really what was happening. As an actor, I know they're in the right energy, they're in the right connection with character, which is all psychology, being able to be that person. Marlon Brando said, "If I can't think like a character, I can't play him."
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If you can't think like the next version of you that's fucking gonna crush it, you're not gonna play it.
100%.
Right? And the thing too, it's not just about the words, it's everything that's beyond the words.
It's energy
right?
behind the words.
It's energy beyond the
intention.
words, right? And so it's the same thing here. It's like, but having those main key things that you're realizing, okay, for us, let's just say that you know, vision is one of ours. Like, what does that mean? That means two main things. That this is my way of doing value work, right? It's if let's just say I'm comparing vision with courage, okay? Because you have to, at some point, you have to decide. Let's say you have 20 nice words that could be values. Well, let's go with vision. Do we rather at the company that our team are visionaries, like we're actually visionaries? Do we want, and then also when it comes to our customers, through playing as simple as a game, do we want that to inspire a new vision for themselves? Do we want them to be visionaries themselves and actually believe in their own vision? The V within purpose is for visionary, and it's for voice, right? Because you unlock your own voice, you hear voices of people in front of you. Or do we rather they're more courageous? Now that could be interesting, right? Like, which one do you want to choose? So those things are important. Empathy. Do we want people to be more empathetic? Or do we want it to be, if one of our values is purpose, do we want people to be on fucking purpose? Wow. So you have to make decisions. For us, we decide purpose is more important than empathy. Mm-hmm. Empathy is important. I have to be empathetic with you. But at some point when it comes to the line, do I rather have a bunch of empathetic people around me, or do I rather have fucking purpose-driven, it's a sacred mission, guys, let's go. I rather purpose.
Of course. Right?
And so those are the kind of things that any entrepreneur at any stage, you know, especially when you start getting team 2, 4, 5, 10, 50, you know, people, like, that's even more important.
Yeah. I think I look at it like a ship. Like, when you're a small team, obviously the ship can turn, you can change things very quickly, it's very, you can pivot very easily, but as a team grows, and we're learning that right now, because we got about like 12, 13 team members, one change causes a ripple effect in the entire company. So everybody has to be aligned and rowing in the same direction.
Absolutely.
At least somewhat in the same direction. Ideally, if everybody's in sync, in rhythm. But those values, I feel like those are the big pillars of the ship, the sails that keep things moving in the right direction. Yeah. So people are just in line with the mission and everything.
What are 3 of your main values?
Number 1 is extreme ownership. Right?
Extreme ownership. That's your number 1.
That's our number 1. The next one is experimentation. So I never want us to get stale, especially in our space. We are literally pioneering a new solution for a health issue that millions of people have. We literally have doctors in our program from around the world, psychiatrists, and they're like, we didn't learn this in school. Yep. So experimentation, we never want to get stale. We always want to push the limits on what's possible for healing, and just client-centric spirit. It's just, everything is to literally save this person's life. Yeah. Like, I was on a call this week with 2 people. They're like, I don't want to live anymore. Like, I don't have a solution to this. This is my last hope. Can you guys help me? So it's obviously a lot of pressure. So
it's a responsibility.
It's a huge responsibility, but I've just heard it so many times, and I know that is our goal. I say it every time to the team. You know, it is a business. There is money involved. There is profit. But the main thing is, can we save this person's life? Are we delivering on what we promise? Are we giving them a world-class experience? That way, it's not just about them making money like a lot of other businesses. It's not about them feeling better about themselves. It's literally, can they go from bedridden to walking so they can go on vacations with their family again? Can they work again so they can provide for their family?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a deep purpose.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
I just realized, man, we're only at one card. I kind of want to see what else we got here.
No, see, these go deep.
We can go even deeper, right?
Right.
All right.
Let's see.
So this is a phrase that we have in there. So this is the path to prosperity lies in aligning vision with action, strategy, and purpose. What do you think about that?
I think it's true, man. I think it's true. Aligning action, strategy, and purpose. I think a lot of people don't, or not a lot of people take enough action. We hear a lot of people talk about ideas, talk about things they could do, should do, would do, but how many people are actually coming up with a plan and doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what we talked about earlier, is that failure. Just jump in. You have an idea, what's the worst that happens? You try it, doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So what? At least you tried it.
Yeah.
You move on to the next thing. Most of the things people try will probably not work out, but then you'll find that one thing that makes everything else you tried 100 times worth it.
Right.
But you'll never know if you just bank on one idea to take you to the moon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So try to keep going.
Here, I'll give you a deck too. We'll try this.
Let's do it. You want to pick one from here, or?
So you'll have one deck. I'll have one deck.
Okay.
So keep a couple cards in there, and then we'll just kind of go. Let's
Alternate.
try rapid fire. You want to try that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Rapid fire. All right. Top or bottom?
Top.
Okay. This is an advisory card, so we're testing this out.
Okay.
So advisory: receive a piece of advice for your business. You choose the who. You're the who.
Okay.
So a piece of advice when it comes to building purpose, and I guess just to make it more specific here, I always appreciate different perspective from people, especially people obviously that are in business and are actually playing the game, and are seeing things and from different experiences and have a different scope. And you really don't fully know what's going on, right? Or what we're working on, or who we're talking to, or whatever. But you do understand one main thing, which is the product, and you've experienced it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I care about the most. So having that perspective, what would you think is a something that you would do, or you think would be a really great thing to do that would unlock things to even next level that maybe we haven't thought about?
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys might have been doing this, but having those almost viral moments, like going up to people on the street, putting a deck of cards in their face and being like top or bottom, seeing their reaction, and then asking a question. Like if one of those things pops off, then that could spread this game like wildfire. So there's that, because my background is in content, something like that. But honestly, like just going all out on like a podcast, kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like high level production, multiple camera angles, but getting into like deep conversations and really gamifying the podcast space, honestly.
We're sending it to 50 of the top podcasters, because we've had people that have got the game, but we didn't send it with the purpose of having them use it on the podcast. They have it, and one of the guys happened to have a podcast. So he's like, "So guys, we're going to be playing this game, purpose game," and then I have another one in French that like is from Montreal, and he was like, "On va jouer purpose aujourd'hui, top or bottom," you know, and then the guest was just answering.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, why don't we send it to the top boys? I like to do things big. I'm gonna send it to Rogan.
Yep.
I'm gonna send it to Rogan. I'm gonna send it to just personal development, Ed Milet. I'm gonna send it to, I met just different people like that, right? That have like good podcasts, and Patrick Bedavid is someone that I met him. I was at Valuetainment. I was at his office with his team and everything. Great people, and so I'm making a custom edition for him.
That's gonna be dope.
And he likes collectible cards apparently, and I really appreciate a lot of things about him,
Yeah.
And
podcast space is a great space to go after, because that space is booming, like audio, but also just video podcasts, man. And like it's an attractive product. It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah. You can start your conversations there or end it with a top or bottom question.
Yeah.
Right? Gamifying the experience of it, and then we can always go deeper into that. So
because another thing too is like I learned in Vegas at this marketing conference. The trend right now with people consuming content, it's like keep me company content. People are doing their dishes, folding clothes, doing chores around the house, but they have something playing in the background. Always, they don't want to be by themselves. So a game like this, putting this into a lot of podcasts would be huge. Or even starting, you guys are doing your own podcast. like just showing how it works.
Yeah. That's the main thing. I mean,
the
people
main thing.
experience it and then
Yeah.
just play it, right? So,
Yeah.
awesome. Why don't we go at some point because you're here? Why don't we go one day? You come with me, all right? And let's go to the street if you're down. On lunch in a couple weeks, you know. And that's when I can start the Mr. Purpose to see how that goes, right? We build big accounts, right, with millions of followers before, so might as well, you know. I've had people do it, and I did in Tulum in Spanish, but I haven't gone to the streets myself doing it. I think, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes there's some things that you want to delegate, of course, right? And I have a concept where it's like we should send the game to people around the world that now they want to have their, like, to go do this. It's literally, like my friend was saying, bro, it's like the cards literally give you content.
Literally. Yeah.
Like you have a product that gives people content and people don't know what to say. So now you go, it gives people content, and then you can put them in the network so they get more followers. And for us, it's like we get all this content, right? So that's one thing. But then, I don't know, I felt like for a bit, maybe it's too much things going on, but I just feel now like I should do it the way I think it would go viral. And more than go viral, the way that I like to just connect with people, right? So I'm down to, when it comes to things like that, I set myself a stage. Let me do 50, 55 videos.
Yeah.
Then let's see. But don't stop before, because it might be level 30. And usually at 20, you'll say, oh shit, that worked. But people don't even give themselves a chance.
Yeah.
So can you keep me accountable on that?
Yes.
Because I believe in that kind of accountability sometimes too when things are busy.
100%.
Okay, awesome.
100%. All right.
Beautiful. All right, so it's my turn.
Your turn.
Top or bottom?
Let's go bottom.
Bottom.
Let's change it up.
How do you assess and handle risks in new ventures?
That's a great question. How do I assess risk? Yes, so pretty much everything we do, there's going to be some kind of risk. I think it's like risk to reward.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm a very risky person. I'm the kind of person who just like, I don't like to take too long to think about stuff. I'm just like, if this goes well, how much is it going to benefit? Is this going to benefit? Is this moving us in the right direction, closer to our vision? If it is, and it's not an insanely risky idea, we'll do it. And I know without risk, there is no reward. So obviously not making moves that, fell on the cards. Not making moves that put the company in jeopardy. I like to take calculated risk. What's the payoff, essentially?
Yeah.
Can we afford the risk? Sometimes you'll find yourself in situations where you have to go all in and roll the dice, and you have to get a 6, right?
Yeah.
It's more rare that you're in the situations, but assessing risk, it's just a matter of like, is it worth it? Is it worth it if we get to this next level, and if we fail, if we drop down here? So it's like risk to reward, right? That's kind of how I do it. I'm like, does it make sense for the vision? Does it move us closer? If it does, let's take the risk, because we're going to have to take the risk either now or later. Yeah. We can kick this ball down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I'm starting to do too is just starting to assess my options. Right?
Yeah.
Like actually assess, because I'll give you an example, distribution. We have an ability right now, and we now are in a position where we have just more recently distributors knocking.
Yeah.
Okay? Now when that's it, compared to going and distributors, hey, look at my game, right?
Now you can choose.
Now it's a different thing, right? And now it's like positioning, right? What do they look at? They look at this, all these different things, testimonials. We have thousands of testimonial videos, but they're all over the place, and now we're bringing it all under one roof, right? And it's like, okay, let's now look at the options, because there's certain stages where you get an offer, and it's one thing to see it, but now you get an offer right there. It looks like it could be a 7 turning into an 8-figure offer right there, but this is long term. Yeah. Now let's look at options, right? Let's actually take the time, and now from there you start assessing. I'm also, when you start looking at like mergers and acquisitions, I have a lot of friends that are in the M&A space, and do I see myself getting into that space with purpose? I do. What does that mean? It means, okay, who's in our space, who has connection to our customers, who has maybe a technology that we'd like to purchase, but they don't have the expansion that we do. They don't have the momentum that we do. They don't have the fucking like life to fucking go all in and have maybe the vision that we do. So what does that mean? It means, okay, what does this acquisition look like? What is the risk reward? Because there's a risk that it's not, but I want to limit that on the highest level, that even though, the technology is worth it, even though the customer base is worth it, even though, so like that, it's like you're minimizing at that point. But what's the upside? It can be transformational on a whole other level, like I can't even imagine, right? And so that's where I think I'm starting to look at it from that
Yeah.
perspective too, right?
I think another thing too, like bringing it back to like super, super basics, when you're assessing risk, you have to take emotion out of it. Can't be emotion. You have to be logical. What are the actual drawbacks and what are the actual benefits? Sometimes I'll write this down on a paper. Very simple. Decision at the top.
Yeah.
Left side risks or downsides or drawbacks. Right side, what is the upside? What is the reward? But you can't get into this emotional space where you're trapped by fear. Or, you really have to look at it logically.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
think with running business, emotion is like everything, right? Because most people would have stopped at like 1/50th of your journey if they started getting emotional.
100%.
Like obviously we'll feel fear sometimes, but then you gotta swat that away.
And people confuse emotion with intuition.
Yeah, 100%.
Intuition is different.
Intuition, you feel it.
Intuition feels different, but it's
gut.
in your gut, right?
Yeah.
And it's way different, and it's not. It doesn't get affected by fear.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't get affected by all the beautiful, the love, the this, the oh my god. It doesn't get affected by that, and I think it takes a lot of pain to feel intuition.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a lot of pain. It takes a lot of challenges, but then it takes you getting through that, and then just connecting with everything else, right?
Yeah.
And being in tune, right?
And I think there's more clarity in intuition. With fear, it's kind of all over the place. The feelings change, the thoughts around the emotion change.
Yeah.
But with intuition, it's like a solid feel. It just feels solid.
Yeah.
You're not jumping all over the place. So when I find my mind is starting to jump all over the place, I'm like, yeah, that's emotion.
Yeah.
Let's put this on paper. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call it how it is.
Yeah.
Let's make a logical decision here. Ain't no room for emotion. And
What's the next big decision you have to make?
hiring a bunch of team members. Our bottleneck is in fulfillment. We literally don't have enough coaches to fulfill. Like we have enough right now, but if we want to take things to where they are, we need to be onboarding like 1 to 2.
Would you consider it a marketplace?
Which one?
Like, would you consider it part of the business model marketplace in a way?
Like, how do you mean?
Well, I mean marketplace in terms of like you have clients, right, and you have coaches.
Yeah.
So you're solving two problems, which is something I'll tell you with purpose. But you basically have on the two sides, and you're middleman interconnecting in a way. Right?
Yeah.
Or it's more of it's not really a marketplace. It's more of a continuous journey that you're supporting both in a way, right?
Yeah. No, for our coaches, we have to train them very specifically. Just because this solution, it's never been done before. A specific type of neuroplasticity, like brain retraining. So we have to train them. They'd be part of our team. But it's interesting because like there are millions of people who need this, right? And we actually have to slow down and pause, like put the brakes on marketing and sales right now. Until
you can keep the delivery strong.
And that's the thing too. It's like I've heard people say, just grow, just keep gassing it. Things are supposed to break. I'm like, yeah, they're breaking right now. But the last thing I ever want to do is make an extra, few 5 figures a month or 6 figures a month, but the client is not getting the results they need. Because that's
100%.
Someone's life on the line.
Yeah, especially the business you're in. It's like very, very.
Literally, they're trusting us with their lives. So I can't take the money over their results. I'll always choose results first because I believe in karma too, right? Do the right thing for the client, the business will grow. It'll happen.
Yeah.
But don't try to set the whole place on fire and just grow as fast as possible, and then figure out how to serve the clients after. Like, especially in our space, that's how you burn your name out of this industry.
Absolutely,
It's niche. Yeah.
That's good, bro. I'm proud of you, man. I feel like you're in a even like the last time we were last time we were talking about your business. I feel like you've done that growth.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you on that.
Thank you, man.
I can feel it in the conversation.
It.
So, and even just when you go back, remember like just times where you're like fucking like it was a struggle, but all you wanted was that kind of opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Now you have the opportunity to grow, and even though I'm sure there's moments that are hard. Someone told me, he's like, bro, do you ever feel like you experience like challenges? I'm like, are you kidding me? Every fucking day. Someone told me that because they saw me doing something and like whatever, and they were like very impressed, and they're like, bro, like you're fucking killing it.
You ever get stressed
Do you
out?
ever get like high levels of anxiety or challenges? I looked at him, I'm like,
that's
bro.
every day.
Yeah.
Every hour of every day.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy though? It's like the things you're doing right now, like the one a year ago would be hella stressed out. 2 years ago would be hella stressed out.
Maybe,
6 months ago, right? So it's crazy how when you continue to push the boundaries and the limits on yourself and challenge yourself, it forces you to level up. So all the stuff we're doing right now, like probably couldn't handle it a year ago, but now it's an everyday thing. So it makes you think of like, where are we going to be 6 months from
Yeah.
now or a year from now?
Yeah.
Our tolerance for stress will be so high, and the
I
operation
call it the
will
T
be-
square. It's
Oh,
a
yeah?
tolerance tank.
tolerance tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it is, right? Or
Yeah.
resilience, really. But
Yeah, resilience. Like, what is
Yeah.
your threshold for stress and emotion, and ability to adapt? 'Cause if you don't
Absolutely.
adapt, if you can't deal with stress, yeah, good luck
Yeah.
having a business.
Yeah.
I could say it, but you wouldn't get it. Like I spoke another language, you ain't fluent in it. I just say to trust the process, I won't lose a minute.